morning and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, June the 8th, 2021. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, UTSI hosts the first in-person Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce's Chamber Coffee in more than a year. We peek in on the most recent Lunch and Learn, and Motlow returns to in-person instruction. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
I can think of this wonderful little woman that I had. She said, I can't talk. There's nothing there. And she said, I want my voice back. After the first session, she was loud. I'll never forget this. She said, there's a voice in me still. Whether it's Parkinson's or a stroke or whatever, they are not at the bottom, but they can always get better.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Motlow State Community College has announced a return to normal student and staff activities on all its campuses. The college recently moved to Pandemic Level 1, allowing it to open its campuses completely to students, staff, and visitors. All student support services are now fully open, and walk-in service is available. Students are welcome to, but are no longer required to make appointments for support. Libraries are open and computer labs are becoming available. Testing, counseling, and tutoring are also open on campus. Yet all of these services will continue to also be available to students online for learners who prefer to seek support virtually. As the college returns to normalized operations under its Pandemic Level 1 status, fall classes will be chiefly on campus in traditional classroom settings. Fall 2021 classes will begin August 23rd. The move to chiefly on-campus instruction this fall does not affect any class for which a student is already enrolled. It simply means that more on-campus courses will be added to the fall semester. Likewise, the college will provide a robust list of online courses for students who continue to prefer to learn virtually. Motlow summer classes are already underway. Classes began for the full term and first short session term on June 1st. Summer second session classes start July 6th. Summer courses will continue to meet as planned, with most meeting virtually, allowing a smooth phase-in of operations. Motlow has been very intentional in assessing, defining, and implementing health, safety, and wellness protocols. Decisions to move from one pandemic response level to another are holistically based upon comparative data points that are fluid and subject to change. Motlow has made the current decision cautiously based on indicators that suggest the local health environment is stabilizing. The preponderance of indicators asserts that normalizing services, operations, and institutional delivery is in the best interest of the majority of the stakeholders. At Pandemic Level 1, all campuses and grounds are now open and staffed. Students, employees, and visitors are no longer required to complete a daily health assessment before coming on campus. Mask wearing and social distancing are no longer required. However, the college encourages and supports all students in making personal mask wearing decisions appropriate for their own needs. Following CDC guidance, Motlow State recommends that individuals who have not been vaccinated do so as soon as possible. Motlow also encourages those who have not fully vaccinated to continue wearing masks and observing social distancing to protect themselves and others. While moving to Pandemic Level 1 means that the college returns to near normal operations, Motlow remains pandemic aware and will continue to stay ready to adapt further if needed. In other news, the Food and Drug Administration approved the drug aducanumab to treat patients with Alzheimer's disease on Monday. It is the first new drug approved by the agency for Alzheimer's disease since 2003. The drug is the first to show significant progress against the sticky brain plaques that are the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. The drug has proved highly effective at reducing the plaques called beta amyloid that build up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. But it's not clear yet if the drug actually slows the progression of the disease when it reduces the plaques. Two large studies offered conflicting evidence about whether the treatment shows declines in memory and thinking. As a condition of approval, the FDA is requiring Biogen, the drug's maker, to conduct another clinical study to confirm that the reduction of amyloid plaques results in clinical improvement for patients. If the subsequent study doesn't show a clinical improvement, the agency could move to withdraw the approval. There are also concerns that the FDA's approval will make it difficult for Biogen and Eisai, the companies marketing the drug, to find enough patients to participate in its next clinical trials, as patients might not want to risk getting the placebo and can get the drug without being in a study. The medicine will be marketed under the trade name Aduhelm. The agency opted to put Aduhelm on the FDA's accelerated approval pathway, which is meant to speed access to potentially valuable therapies for patients with serious diseases to serve an unmet need and where a clinical benefit is expected, even if there is still some uncertainty about that benefit. It could take several years to conclude the clinical trials the FDA is requiring, but in the meantime, Aduhelm will be available to patients. Patients will receive the drug in monthly infusions. They will also need regular brain scans to detect a rare side effect, bleeding or swelling in the brain. Biogen and Eisai said Monday that the annual wholesale cost for those taking maintenance doses would be $56,000 a year for a patient of average U.S. weight with mild cognitive impairment or mild dementia. The net price could change based on discounts and rebates. The Alzheimer's Association, which has been pushing for approval, applauded the news. The group said in a statement, quote, "This is the first drug that slows Alzheimer's disease, and this is the true beginning of a completely new future for Alzheimer's treatments. This is a new type of Alzheimer's treatment. It addresses the disease in a way that has never been done before compared to currently approved drugs," end quote. And after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Welcome back. Jack Harmon spoke at the latest Lunch and Learn at D.W. Wilson about medical treatments during the Civil War. In this segment, he speaks about the history of who was in charge of both Union and Confederate medical procedures and what the goals were for field surgeons.
I'm Jack Harmon. I'm going to talk about medicine during the war between the states. Now, I don't have a medical background, so much of the information included was acquired from the internet. Now, of course, everyone knows that all information on the internet is true, but please keep in mind that some of the data presented may not be gospel. Now, the photograph you see on the title slide is the Fairfax Seminary Hospital in Alexandria, Virginia. Now, the topics to be addressed include medical knowledge and leadership, battlefield medicine, general hospitals, Johnny Reb and Billy Yank, camp medicine, disease knowledge and diseases, medicines, herbal medicines, and medical advances. Now, by 1860, medicine was just beginning to emerge from the Middle Ages. Medical knowledge was still primitive. Doctors had minimal training, and most had never even seen a gunshot wound. Doctors did not know of germs, bacteria, viruses, disinfectants, antiseptics, or antibiotics. They did not understand infection and made no attempt to maintain cleanliness during medical procedures. They weren't negligent, they just didn't know any better. Now, the North had 30 medical schools and eventually 10,000 doctors. And the South had 5 medical schools and eventually 4,000 doctors. Union Surgeon Generals, Dr. Lawson died in May of '61 and was replaced by Dr. Finley. Dr. Finley retired in April of '62 after incurring the displeasure of Secretary of War Edwin Stanton, and he was replaced by Dr. Hammond. I noticed the change in rank from Dr. Finley, who was a major, to Dr. Hammond, who was a brigadier general. In May of '63, Dr. Hammond banned the mercury compound calomel from the Army supply list as unsafe. Many Army doctors objected, and Secretary of War Stanton removed Hammond from office in September of '63. Stanton replaced Hammond with Dr. Barnes. Now, the Confederate Army Surgeon General position was established in the founding documents of the Confederacy. Dr. Moore served for the duration of the war. His office, that contained many of the medical records of the Confederacy, was destroyed in the fire that ravaged Richmond, Virginia on April 2nd, 1865. And Dr. Moore wrote a manual of military surgery used by the Confederate surgeons. Dr. Gross wrote a manual of military surgery for use by the Federal Army surgeons. Dr. Letterman is credited with creating the battlefield triage system that saved the lives of thousands of wounded Union soldiers. Dr. Chisholm is credited with creating the battlefield triage system that saved the lives of thousands of wounded Confederate soldiers. Now, war battlefield casualties were just over 200,000 killed and nearly 500,000 wounded. The Union Army eventually had about 2.1 million troops, and the Confederate Army about 900,000 troops. Now, triage was adopted by both the North and the South Medical Corps. The goals were to get wounded soldiers to the field medical station within 6 hours, get wounded soldiers to a field hospital within 24 hours. Wounded were not treated in the order received, but first in line were seriously wounded but treatable. In other words, the wound is life-threatening if not treated quickly. Second in line were minimally wounded, in which the wound was not life-threatening. And last in line were the gravely wounded, not likely to survive. Now, any gravely wounded still alive were treated last, and some did survive. Now, early in the war, it was often 2 days or more before the wounded received any medical attention. And doctors learned by experience that wounded receiving medical attention within 24 hours had a much better chance of survival.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Fisher-Price announced Friday that they were recalling 2 products for children after reports of at least 4 infant deaths. In a press release, officials said they were recalling the Fisher-Price 4-in-1 Rock and Glide Soother and the 2-in-1 Soothe and Play Glider, and urged consumers to stop using them immediately. 4 infants ranging from 11 weeks to 4 months old died between April 2019 and February 2020 while using the soother. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, there have been no deaths in the 2-in-1 Soothe and Play Glider. The children were placed on their backs unrestrained in the soother and later found on their stomachs, the commission said. Consumer Product Safety Commission Chairman Robert Adler said, quote, "These types of incidents are heartbreaking. Loving parents put their babies in these products, never expecting a tragedy. Incline products such as gliders, soothers, rockers, and swings are not safe for infant sleep due to the risk of suffocation," end quote. The recall affects about 145,000 soothers and 82,000 gliders sold in the U.S. and Canada, as well as online. Fisher-Price stopped selling the soother in December and halted sales of the glider in May. Fisher-Price General Manager Chuck Scondon said the company was committed to educating parents and other customers on how to use their products safely, including by following any instructions and warnings, and added, quote, "There is nothing more important to Fisher-Price than the safety of our products and the trust that the families put in us," end quote. Consumers can contact Fisher-Price directly for a refund online or by calling toll-free at 855-853-6224. According to the CPSC, the safest way for babies to sleep is on their backs in a crib, bassinet, or play yard without the addition of any pillows or blankets. And we'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Welcome back. At the most recent Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce's Chamber Coffee meeting hosted by UTSI, Dr. James Simonton addressed the gathering about the need for housing graduate assistant students in the community.
Welcome everybody to UTSI. It's really wonderful to have you here. It's nice to see people's faces. I know the bankers here are probably happy that people aren't wearing masks anymore because you really didn't know if they were going to rob you or deposit money. So same way here. We've worked really hard with our folks here to keep them safe. And I know you have too, and we really appreciate that. But it is nice to see all the faces. Now I have a challenge for you. And it's a challenge that you probably had many times before. The challenge is to housing for students. We're growing at a very rapid rate. And after the meeting I had this morning with our Vice Chancellor of Research, that's only going to continue even faster and much larger. Right now we have about 30 graduate research assistants or GRAs that work for our faculty, and they do actually the research that happens in a university happens with the graduate students under the mentorship of their faculty. And we're expecting to grow to about over 50 very shortly. So we're going to almost double the number of GRAs that we have. And these are paid GRA ships. Students get a payment for they work 20 hours a week, and then they do their studies. They get their courses covered. They get all the fees, most all the fees covered. And we only have enough dorm rooms in single occupancy to handle 20. And so we have a lot of opportunity here. These are not 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old people. These are people that have degrees. They're degreed engineers. Some of them already have a master's degree in engineering, and they're working on their doctorates or their PhDs. And they make really, really good renters. We've had a couple of apartment complexes said if they could only have the space to do more, because the renters they've had, they always pay their bills. They're not loud, and they don't tear anything up. And if they do tear something up, they fix it. So they're very responsible young adults, and it'd be really great. And also, if you're coming here for a PhD, if a student's coming here, they can expect to spend anywhere from 4 to 7 years, depending on the area that they're serving. So I'm telling you, there's an opportunity there for renters for 4 to 7 years that pay their bills and don't tear anything up. Growing up in a family where we had rental property, my dad would have jumped all over that one. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. If there's anything we can ever do for you or provide you or get to, we're your direct conduit to campus. Even if it doesn't look like something we do, let us know, and we can get you in touch with the right person. And so we're your connection to UTK. Thank you very much and appreciate it.
Also, Holly Holder from Horseplay spoke to the crowd as a new member of the chamber.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Holly Holder, and I am Horseplay Incorporated's program director. And I have so many things I would love to tell you about our program, but I'll start out with just our basics. We are a therapeutic riding center for children with disabilities, and we work with the parents and the children themselves that set forth their own goals for improvement in their lives through riding lessons. We offer 3 different programs. We have our therapeutic riding program, in which they learn riding skills. We have hippotherapy, which is the horse is used as a tool in a therapy session with a therapist. And then we have our horsemanship program, which is an emotional-based goal. They work towards maybe anxiety or anger, and they work with the horse on the ground. And so they learn life skills, responsibilities that they can take from home into the everyday world. So we are a free service. Our children get to participate in the program anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, and we have hopes that we can grow that longer. I would love to see it be a year-round program, but we'll get there one day. And like I said, we are completely free of charge for our students. We do depend on the community for fundraisers, horse sponsorships, rider sponsorships to keep our doors open. And I have lots of brochures that tell more about our program, and I would love to speak with everyone and pass out some information. We are always needing volunteers. That is how we really run our program, is mostly through volunteers. So we require a lot from in our sessions with the kids to just work days on the farm and different events. And speaking of events, we have lots of events coming up. If you have high school kids needing their hours for college, or even maybe kids 13 and up, I'd love to have them for some different projects we have going on. So if you'll see me or visit us on Facebook, I would love to tell you more about it. Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails. Welcome back. Don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Tullahoma's Winston Brooks, who will let us know about the 4th of July fireworks and more. And we'll speak with Randy Fincham about a fundraiser for Alzheimer's Tennessee coming to Daddy Billy's next week. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1953 at 95 degrees. The record low was in 1944 at 43 degrees. The average high for this day is 83 and the average low is 62. Thunderstorms likely for tonight with a low of 68. Thunderstorms continue to expect to stick around for Wednesday with a high of 81 and a low of 68, and additional thunderstorms on Thursday with a high of 81 and a low of 67. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.